So you get the apparel, and then that transitions to the gym, but that didn't happen right away. You kind of were relaunching the apparel, right?
Yep.
How did that go? Was that a struggle just to try to get the rename?
Struggle. You got a bunch of billionaires that want to be in the fitness apparel space, and it's kind of hard to compete with that. There's companies like Live Fit and Alpha Elite, and companies like that are very well capitalized and have a really tight business plan, very well executed. There's Gasp and Better Bodies. Those are hard companies to compete with. When House of Pain was prominent back in the day, none of those companies existed. I'll never forget the only way you could get House of Pain equipment or House of Pain apparel back then was you went to a powerlifting meet or a bodybuilding competition. And you could find them there. They had a booth, and you bought their stuff. Well, they did a co-branding thing with West Side Barbell, which was, Louis Simmons. He was kind of the pioneer in powerlifting. So that was a huge thing. Like they were aligned with West Side Barbell, Mm-hmm. And so they really set themselves apart. But over the years, and especially them being dormant for many years, they really lost their place. So again, it's our mission to bring it back, but it's been a long road. It'll be a long road, but we have a big vision for the brand.
Okay. And then the gym comes along, okay? Now, I know in the gym, you mentioned equipment. I know one of the things about you is that you travel a lot, and you were very specific on the equipment that's in there. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that's what sets us apart. Most people will say it's our culture because, there's some gyms that call themselves the no judgment zone. We are truly the no judgment zone. I mean, we have a big law enforcement community. We have a big trans community. Everyone's treated the same. St. Louis Business Journal gave us an award for being a trans-friendly business. We never looked at it that way. People are just people. If you're there to train, you're my friend, We don't judge anyone. The only thing that we care about is that you're there for the right reason, and that is to get in shape. I don't care if you're a competitor or if you're a beginner. If you're there for the right reason, we want to know you. And so the equipment, though, is sort of, I'm kind of a geek when it comes to the equipment. We have a whole line of Prime equipment, Watson out of the UK, Panada. These companies, this type of equipment is very rare in the commercial gyms. I won't say you'll never see it, but it's very rare to see any of that in the commercial gyms. And why is it rare? Because it costs more money, but biomechanically it makes sense. There's a lot of stuff, and again, I'm not trying to disparage anyone, but there's a lot of stuff made these days. It's imported from China. The footprint, they shrink the footprint. So they'll buy they'll buy the intellectual property from a company that made great equipment, but they change it. They change the footprint of it, changes the pivot points on it, and they don't align with your joints. And to me, it just doesn't make much sense. So we have the best of the old and the best of the new. I sought out pieces of equipment that I feel are the best for legs or for back, and I bought them. And sometimes it was pretty expensive because they were rare. And a lot of times I took them down to the metal, had them repowder coated, new bearings, new bushings, and it's like a brand new piece of equipment, but it's 50 years old. And it's sitting right next to, a brand new piece of equipment. You can't really tell the difference. And then some of it looks old, but it works beautifully. And I had a couple that came through from a big box gym, and they wanted to tour, so I took them on a tour, and I was just real excited to show them the equipment. And the lady said, "I don't think this is for us." No problem. We're not for everybody. Your equipment's old. Have a good day, man. You're not gonna. Those people will never fit into our culture or our what we're trying to do at House of Pain. They're into the shiny stuff with marble bathrooms and whatever, and that's cool. That everybody serves a purpose, but it's just not us.
Well, it sounds like you're intentional about the product you're giving your clients, and everything has a purpose. Mm-hmm. So
yeah.
Just know that when you walked in there, everything's there for a reason.
Yeah.
Well, and
can I hire you for sales?
No, maybe.